Since I'm kind of down to the finishing here, again, I'm not going to be just wailing on this thing like I was chopping a tree down. Same basic concept as the ads, just chasing that chip, trying to lock into that each time. That just guides me, just takes me right around that corner. Just chase that, and you can just follow that right around there. Starting to get a nice note to it. You can tell it's getting thin. We're probably, sides are about 1/4 inch, and the bottom's probably about 3/8 of an inch thick. So it's nice, gonna be a nice bowl. Nice and light. You can see I just use that same technique just over and over, getting that chip hooked, then chasing that chip. So it's just like if you were hewing beams for a barn or logs for a cabin. It allows you to make those nice planing cuts that.
Yeah, it's a cut, not a chop.
Right, it's a cut. Yeah, you're using your edge tool more as a plane than you are a chopping device. You're just get on that chip and just follow it. The more radius is involved, the harder it is to do it, because you're obviously always trying to break out of the radius, and so it's harder. But the goal is just to play with it and be gentle. Biggest problem people get into doing this work is two things. One is not having sharp tools, and the other is getting in a hurry. I do a lot of things with my axe that most people won't do with their axe because they haven't got enough axe time in, but that just comes from doing lots of this work. And that hand-eye coordination, to where you can work pretty fine with what is admittedly a very crude tool. I mean, an axe is no fine tool, but if you use it long enough. Here's where we got to go after that center. We know he's hiding in there. We're going to have to go down lower than I want to go to get him, but I'm going to get him because I know he'll crack my bowl if I don't. So there, I got him. So now I can see what I've got, and I can figure out what I'm going to do about it. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then probably get my spoon knife out and cut up in here a little further, because now I know exactly what I have left. So. Okay, just a little bit going on there. Again, I'm being real careful because I don't know just which way that grain's going to want to take off and go there. So I'm just kind of feeling my way along that edge. If I started doing something, I'd quit right away. But it didn't really. It didn't want to go anywhere, so I kind of just went ahead and ran with the hatchet. Okay, so now I'm going to go back with my spoon knife real quick, bring this back, then we'll go back to the ads and we'll finish things up on the outside. or the axe. Now we know where we are. And we still have this bark we've got to take off, and I know that's there, so I got to be careful not to take too much wood off. So I want to leave about 1/4 of an inch when all's said and done, and I know that's thin right there, so I'm going to come in a little bit. But so right now I'm just kind of eyeballing everything. You want to watch because you run that spoon knife right towards your fingers there. Spoon knife is sharp. My fingers are pretty tough, but they're not that tough. So now you're just kind of down to kind of setting the lines of what the center of your bowl is going to look like. And they can be adjusted a little bit and finish, and will be when this dries out and if you go back and finish it. But it's best to get things pretty close now to what you want. And I don't usually draw anything out. I just eyeball all this as I'm going. I just kind of go by the wood and what it's kind of wanting to do. And I don't really like the idea of going in here with too many lines and too much pre-planning. To me, it's not what this is about. Make a nice bowl you can put your English walnuts in or something. Holiday time, fill this up with nuts. And we talked about this tree earlier, but this young walnut was sited between 2 other really nice big walnuts, and one of them had to go out of the 3, and this was the smaller tree, less good form. It had 2 forks in it. Was never going to be a good timber tree, and so it was the tree that got called out. And that stand of walnuts is probably 25 years old or so, and so we're just kind of going through there now and starting to really thin it and give the better trees the ground and the light. These lesser trees, we cut them. If we can use them for something, we do. If not, we firewood them. But it's just all part of managing a forest. The walnuts, when they get pinched for light, they get really crazy sometimes. They get really bent, funny tops and things. They don't do well. Walnut trees like to have their sun. And they don't do well following other trees and growing up in shade and stuff. It's just not their ideal environment. Trying to swing this out just a little bit here. Just a little bit of wood there I can utilize. To be real honest, if you had the initiative, a tree this size it's going to make about, I don't know, I got enough parts I think for 5 chairs out of it, and all but seats, and you could have made another 3 or 4 bowls, 5, 6 bowls out of it probably. Some walking sticks, and I don't know, probably 40 or 50 spoons if you had the initiative. But that's just one small walnut tree. So I always joke that when you start calling trees out of a stand there, you got more wood than you can deal with. An endless supply of green wood around to work with. And that really wild wood, and really test your patience and how sharp you can make your tools to get that to do what you want it to do. Cut this way and you'll cut that way, and slip the tool a little so you get a little slice cut going, and a million little tricks that you just learn. You do them, you don't even think about them. Make that cut, make it work. So that's clean enough for now. So we'll go back to the axe and finish the perimeter, and then we'll chuck it out in the shaving horse and go after it with the spoke shave just a little bit, and it'll be ready to put in the drying box. You could sit here and fiddle with this thing all day if you wanted to, and if I had, had time, that's probably what I'd do. Just sit here and fiddle with it till I got it really just, almost finished, even in a wet state, semi-wet state, I guess I'd call this. I call this green. Like I said, walnut's harder than most of the wood you're going to work anyway. Then when you're working the crotch of the tree, the hardest part of the tree anyway. So I wouldn't recommend this as your first project. Just get a new spoon knife and adze or something. You think you're going to go make I wouldn't think a heart bowl would be your first project. Got a lot going on there, grain wise and things. It's good to spend a little time learning about on friendlier wood before you get right into the really gnarly stuff that nature can throw at you. Okay, quit doing that. Might as well just keep doing that.